Alright, what is up my friends? Welcome to another Monday video here on CoolStuffInc.com. This is a follow-up video to my article last Friday where I wrote about Simic Flash as the foil to the World metagame. Of course, the World Championships was last weekend and really awesome tournament. I just love the esports stuff. I love the pomp and circumstance. The casting team was phenomenal. I love Day 9. Just really great tournament. And Paulo Vitor Damaderosa was victorious. It's my pick to win. Give me those fancy arena swag things, whatever it is. And awesome tournament. And the World metagame was pretty solid. There were 4 Jeskai Fires decks, 4 Team Erect decks, 3 Blue-White Control decks, 4 Mono Red decks, and 1 Jund Sacrifice deck. And definitely a reasonable spread of the metagame going forward in Standard. And if you're looking for a deck that beats that metagame pretty well, here it is. Simic Flash. Now, I played this deck both at SEG Philadelphia in the Standard seed of my team, as well as a PTQ last weekend in Brooklyn. And while I ran afoul of a few bad matchups, and that's one of the things this deck does have is some bad matchups, Rakdos Sacrifice being the kind of fringe deck that definitely lines up really well against this deck. This deck lines up phenomenally against those top, 3 or 4 decks in the format. Excellent Fires matchup, unbelievably good. Very solid Blue-White matchup. Very solid Team Erect matchup. Mono Red's not as bad as you would think, especially post Sideboard. And why is that? Well, we're just getting really low to the ground. A lot of decks right now are focused heavily on, resolving big things. Big sorcery speed threats like Dream Trawler and Elspeth Conqueror's Death, Wilderness Reclamation, Fires of Invention. There's always really big cards going on, and we're kind of just playing like a Delver of Secrets deck, So we are playing the low to the ground Flash version, not the version that Brad Nelson and Seth Manfield played at, I believe, Mythic Championship. At some point, with Nissa and Krasis, kind of like a hybridization of the ramp deck. This is just like a Delver deck. We have 1-drops and 2-drops, a lot of cheap counter spells. Our creature base is 4 copies of Spectral Sailor. A great card to have when you have counter spells in your deck, because best way to play against counter spells is not to do anything. And this card punishes that, acts for some points of damage. Brineborn Cutthroat, the biggest deviation from the bigger Simic Flash decks in a threat that grows pretty quickly and kills your opponent pretty quickly. For Brazen Borrower, obviously phenomenal card in an aggressive show when you're attacking. And then the best card in the deck, and it's not particularly close, is Nightpack Ambusher. And you can see here, there's only actually 2 green cards of his entire deck, and Nightpack Ambusher is the only mono green card. This is the entire card that makes Simic Flash a good deck. This card is so unbelievably good. The power level of this card is off the roof if you're playing at instant speed. It's a 4/4, you get a 3/3 every turn. They stack phenomenally. They're hard to kill. Not a lot kills this card right now. There aren't many lava coils floating around, not a lot of murderous riders, so Nightpack Ambusher is king in a lot of these matchups. And Frilled Mystic's also very good as well. Definitely, it's the kind of card where it only works great if you're ahead. This deck does a pretty good job of trying to get ahead. So that's our creature base here. It's pretty cool because Brazen Borrower is a spell on a creature. Frilled Mystic's a spell on a creature. Ambusher can play a little bit like a spell as a surprise blocker, so a lot of utility from our creatures here. And we have our counterspell suite. We have 4 Sinister Sabotage, just the easy hard counter. Together with Frilled Mystic, it's a lot of hard counters. We were playing 3 copies of Mystical Dispute in our main deck. And you saw a lot of this at Worlds in various decks. Most decks are blue right now. Blue-White Control, Jeskai Fires, Team of Reclamation. And when it's not against the blue spell, it's a bad mana leak. It's really not. It's not that much worse than Sinister Sabotage is against Mono Red. It can still counter their Annex. It can still counter their Gimli. And obviously we were going to board it out in some matchups, but this card is huge. Also important to have against Teferi. Teferi is the one card in the Jeskai Fires deck and Blue-White Control that really gets you. So get into that. A couple Quenches. It's not mana leak, but given our fast aggressive clock, it's a good early counterspell. A couple hedge cards here, an Essence Capture and Unsummon, just a little extra variety. Give your opponent some things to think about and play around. And then 4 Ops. I believe Opt are mandatory when you're playing Brineborn Cutthroat to make sure you're growing it quickly. And keeps the land count a little low so we don't flood as well. Our mana base is not perfect. We are playing 4 Breeding Pool, 4 Temples, and 4 Fabled Passages just to make sure we have 2 green on turn 4. And then, of course, 1 Castle full of extra value. And that's the main deck, and the sideboard is quite good too. A lot of cool ones in here. So we have 4 Aether Gust, one of the better cards in the format as far as sideboard goes. The 4th Mystical Dispute, and those are the cards that are just like the home run sideboard cards of the format. We have 2 copies of Disdainful Stroke, an important card to have. If your opponent's bringing in creatures, possibly, things like that, fires, the Wrath effects, and Shadow of the Sky, very nice card to have access to against the larger decks. And then we got to shore up those tough matchups. So as I said, mono red, definitely not a great matchup, at least in game ones, but it's still pretty winnable because Nightpack Ambusher is so unbelievably good against them. And then your tool there is Threnody Singer, probably saying that wrong. They attack with their 1/1, and you flash in and block it. Really that simple. 1/3 blocker is already fine against them. You can win some serious combats. You can shrink their Steamkin, get a good block on it. Just a really, really good card against the mono red aggro deck out of this deck. Not a ton of options, but once you have 4 Gusts and 4 Singers, things get pretty tough for them. We also have Shifting Ceratops, a little extra oomph against Teferi and friends. And then the most interesting card in the sideboard is Oakhame Adversary. I didn't even know this card existed. I asked in my Discord for all my subscribers to my Twitch channel, I need a card good against Ceratops in Simic. What should I play? And someone said this card. I looked at it and I was like, this from a dual deck or something? Because I have never seen this card before. But if your opponent has a green permanent in play, this is a 2/3 Death Touch Ophidian. So, great answer to Ceratops. I would say Gruul kind of like beatdown decks seem a little tough for us too. So it can block, a Pell Collector. It can block tons of stuff. And then the Ophidian part's kind of nice too also. So, very nice little sneaky sideboard card. So, this is the deck I think is very good against the Worlds metagame. Again, it is a little rough against some of the more fringe decks in the format. And unfortunately, I ran afoul of that in both the PTQ and the SSG Philly event. But really, really good against top of the metagame. So, if you're looking to metagame against those decks, this is it. We're going to battle, but short word from our sponsor here at CoolStuffInc.com.
This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com. To learn more about this deck, click the link in the video's description below to read Jim's article.
Alright, round 1 here. Simic Flash, let's go. And first hand is pretty reasonable. We're on the draw. We have our Mana Leak, 1-drop, Brazen Borrower. All seems pretty good to me. Just no Blood Crypt, Witch's Oven. That's all we want. Okay, Mountain's fine. Island go. In the mono red matchup, Spectral Sailor is surprisingly good because it is honestly just a shock for 1-drops. Robber the Rich is pretty annoying, but that's okay. They're going to reveal a Brazen Borrower, so it's also a little annoying, but we can work our way through that. We have to ask ourselves if our Sailor is going to be worth it, or should we just opt? Gotta make sure we find a 3rd land here and then a 4th land. Against mono red, your entire plan revolves around just getting Ambusher in play and untapping. Because once Ambusher's in play, it's very hard for them to win. They have a very difficult time removing it from the battlefield. So, we're going to opt here. I don't think Sailor matters that much. We're not really racing. It's not really blocking very well. Ship that, looking for a land. Okay. Alright, we found our lands. Good. Now we need to decide exactly what we want to do here. They do have a Brazen Borrower they can cast if they attack with Robber the Rich, which is pretty awkward. So we need to decide if we're going to Brazen Borrower the Robber, or we're going to Quench something, or what are we going to do? We're definitely just saying go, so it's usually good to think about these things before your opponent's turn, so you don't give too much away when the actual decision point comes. So again, our choice here is to bounce the Robber the Rich and deny them this Brazen Borrower, or leave open counter magic. And I think I'm in the mood for a bounce here. If they attack and then just cast Brazen Borrower, we feel pretty bad about things. So, okay. Robber's back and no land, which is definitely interesting. So, of course, with no land, they couldn't have cast the Brazen Borrower anyway, but we couldn't have known that. Definitely just going to play tap land here and say go. Don't have access to our capture, which is fine, because Quench seems good enough anyway. Fervent Champion. Do we have any interest in quenching this Fervent Champion? They definitely... I mean, they could have drawn this last turn and wanted to redeploy the Robber of the Rich, but they definitely have drawn this either in the last 2 turns, so they probably don't have another land. I'm pretty happy quenching here. Just want to keep them off the board and get our Nightpack Ambusher in safe and sound. Now we're also 5-5 on cards. Alright, they had light up a stage. And they hit 2 more Fervent Champions, which is honestly not that bad, because unless they play a land, we get to make a nice Nightpack Ambusher block here, which is only something you want to do if you're feeling really safe. Fervent Champion number 1, Fervent Champion number 2, and away, a do-si-do, and away they go. No, they're not going to attack at all. So the problem with this is, from their point of view, is that I'm not sure if they can beat an Ambusher anyway. So this feels pretty good for me. So now he gets to untap with Capture and Sabotage up and a token in play. So never want to risk your Ambusher ever if you can. And we are feeling pretty good now. So they can move to combat. We have less cards than they do, which is cool. And they're going to come in with both Fervent Champions. So they've got 5 cards. They can't Embercleave. Blocking with the Ambusher opens us up to things like Shock, the +2/+0. So we're just going to block with the Wolf here and force them to do something that's not as useful as they'd like it to be. Again, you need to keep your Ambusher alive at all costs. And now we have looking at a Bone Crusher Giant here. So if we counter this, they lose the Giant itself as well. And we get to kill their Fervent Champion. So even if this isn't like the best Sinister Sabotage of all time, I'm pretty happy with it. This is essentially a counter your thing, get rid of a Bone Crusher Giant, and keep my 3/3 alive. And then a Brineborn Cutthroat seems pretty good as well. So another light up stage is fine. And they hit an Embercleave and a Mountain. So we actually don't have an answer to Embercleave right now, which is a little troubling. But our board should be big enough that it shouldn't really matter. We have Cutthroat, Sailor, and Capture. That's why I didn't play with Sailor, so I want to save it for the Cutthroat. Just play a tap land here, and the Nightpack Ambusher is definitely not blocking, so we're going to attack with it. And just say go. And I've got multiple 3/3s. So the Robber attacks, giving them access to Brazen Borrower, which is fine. And now, if we block with both Wolves and they Embercleave, we'll trade both Wolves for the Robber. And the Cleave gets to move to the Champion. Just a little annoying. Putting the Cleave on the Brazen Borrower is also a little annoying too, but they'll have to actually cast the Cleave here. But they can't cast the Cleave, what am I saying? Only one thing attacking. Yeah, we're blocking here. Let's block with both. I think I thought this was attacking also, but Cleave cost 4, not 5. They're going to Brazen Borrower, bouncing my Nightpack Ambusher, which is fine. The Borrower goes to their Adventure Zone. They can't cast it, though, because it is through the actual cost. We get to kill their Robber of the Rich, which is also fine. And then they say go, but we just recast the Ambusher. Okay. Nightpack Ambusher, pretty good Magic card. So, winning game 1 against Mono Red is huge, because that's the game where I think we're a little behind. But post-board, I think we feel pretty good. So 4 Gusts, 4 Singers, and we cut down on our disputes. Like the Unsummon, the Capture's good, Quench is good. Definitely like to shave some number of Sabotages, and maybe Frilled Mystic can go as well. Might just go down to 0 Sabotage. The Gust can pick up the slack there pretty well. We are on the draw. Quench is a card that gets boarded out a decent amount because games tend to get a little more interactive post-board. Therefore, they go longer. Therefore, Quench goes dead faster. But I think we're gonna take a 1-1 split, I think. I'm gonna take out 1 Quench and 1 Sabotage, leaving us with a total of 2 Quench, 1 Sabotage, and 3 Frilled Mystic. It's kind of a little bit of a hedge. Spread things out a little bit here. Big prize, of course, is 4 Singers and 4 Aether Gusts. Singer wins the early game, and then Aether Gust helps win the late game. Oh, that's not very good. Sure. We're gonna ship this Frilled Mystic, I think. We're on the draw. It's our clunkiest card by a lot. Okay. Singer number 2. Do you have any interest in just playing the passage? Nah, hopefully we're gonna opt. Fervent Champion number 2. So, pretty good start here. Double Goblin Guide-esque draw. This isn't end of combat, is it? Did I screw up? We can shift the opt. Just want to draw a nice good land here. Alright, Brineborn Cutthroat's also not bad, but definitely going to be leaning on our Singer here. So we'll go for the Singer. They obviously could have things that could stop this from being a good block, but it's going to have 1 power, and then if they have the Rimrock Giant, it'll be 3 power, but Rimrock Knight, sorry. I guess that Bone Crusher Giant does it too. Okay. Not ideal, but another Brazen Borrower. We really need a land here. Try again. Second Fervent Champ making life a little tough here. Try to just block the 2-1 actually. I'm thinking about it. Nothing deals 1. Yeah, that's a mistake on my part. I should have blocked the 2-1. Both times actually. Just didn't really think about it. Sure. So this is an awkward fetch here because we really want double green for the wolf. We need double blue to cast our spells right now, so we're not looking good, I guess. Alright, so not too shabby here. We really don't want to bounce the Bone Crusher. We can definitely Cutthroat, though, which is kind of nice. So we can just go Cutthroat, Cutthroat. Although this does not play around Embercleave. You just block, I think. Block them both. Kind of like this. And maybe we have Borrower if they change things up on us. This is fine. I'm bad at math. I guess 4 is 4, not 3. Sure. I just made a big mistake. I for some reason I thought only one of these was gonna die, so I didn't cast another spell. But that obviously was not the case. I don't know. Made a mistake. Phoenix of Ash, sure. And saying go. So we did play around Embercleave by not playing the Brineborn Cutthroat, but we also just made a bad block too, so that's okay. We made a mistake, not a big deal. Just say go here. Our hand's obviously insanely interactive. Pretty happy to Gust or bounce the Phoenix of Ash. They're running out of cards in their hand. Now they have the Castle Emberhearth here to pump this to a 2-power, so we gotta cast multiple spells to keep it from doing anything bad to us. We're just going to assign no blocks here, and then we'll Brazen Borrower the Phoenix of Ash. Pumping here seems pretty bold. Alright. This is fine. Take the 1. Hit a post-combat play, I'll bounce it again. Scorch Spitter. Okay. Let me just bounce that too. Want to get this Cutthroat going. Still have our Gustus. Embercleave protection. Frilled Mystic also not bad. I guess we're gonna just... They have 4, 5, 6. They cast Phoenix and we Frilled Mystic it. They can't attack with the champion unless they have the land. I'm gonna attack here. So, Lava Coil is gonna go. Keeping our Cutthroat, keeping a clock here is very important. The Mystic shuts down the champion. Phoenix will be able to get in for a little bit. We have 2 flying blockers and a Gust, so I'm not too worried about that. It's Phoenix and poke here, but we're poking back for a decent amount. Definitely would have loved an untapped blue land there, not gonna lie, so I could double spell. A Singer. That's pretty good. We're gonna keep on keeping on with that one. And then as far as attacks go, so it's really awkward because we can't really block with the Borrower without and play around Embercleave. I'm not sure if we even really play around Embercleave at all. And then as far as attacks go, we can get in for 5, but things get kind of dicey on their turn. I'm just gonna say go. I think we have enough stuff where I feel okay about playing a few more turns and not racing. Lava Coil, my Frilled Mystic. That is going to be fine. Cutthroat still holding the fort. Another Phoenix. Okay. That's actually pretty fine. They have enough cards in their graveyard to rebuy. If we want to block. The next turn we have Singer and Brazen Borrower to block, which is actually really good. We take 8 here, we got 4, effectively 3. It's pretty scary. We have the Gust too, though. We can shimmy things around the way we want to. Again, if this came out untapped, it'd be so different. If you play Borrower and block, they just get to unearth it next turn, which is not particularly good for us. So it just comes down to do I want a Gust now or wait. We're gonna Gust. Next turn we have Singer and Borrower, which is pretty good, so we can block both flyers next turn. Can we attack too? They have 5 mana, they can play this and pump one of them. Phoenix Bash is good. Pump to 4, we shrink 1, block the other. We're just going to say go again. So we're going to play Brazen Borrower. All the while our Cutthroat's getting bigger and bigger too, so we're threatening putting in the Abyss. Shrink one of these. And we're going to block here and here. And if they want to pump this, they can't kill my Brazen Borrower. If they want to pump this, they can kill the Singer, but whatever, it's fine. I'd rather lose Singer than Brazen Borrower, probably. Yeah. Essence Capture. That actually works really well because I can counter the escape card from the graveyard too. But we don't have double blue. Man, mana's killing us this game. They have the castle too, so we need to. This Cutthroat's like really wants to attack, but I just don't think we're there yet. Essence Capture is probably one of the more awkward cards we could have drawn. Attack with the Cutthroat. Say go. They unchain the thing, we counter it. They don't unchain the thing and just attack. We get to block and take 5, but then they just die. So yeah, I think this is actually pretty good. Not a tremendously well played game by me, but see if we can squeeze it out. They say in baseball that the best pitchers, you can tell they're the best in the how the games they pitch where they don't have their best stuff, rather than the games they do. And the games they light up, 14 strikeouts and just pitch a shutout, they're on that day. But the games where they don't have it, can they work through it and still win the game? That's how you tell if a pitcher's really, really good or not. So we can Phoenix of Ash here. I'm sorry, we can capture this, put the counter on. See, it doesn't really put it on the borrower. It's not even that good, but they can't pump anything either. So card back for 4. This can't. We have to block the Phoenix if they attack. So putting it on the borrower is essentially irrelevant. So I guess I'll put it here. That's pretty bad. The chump blocker. Then they can deal guaranteed damage too. Okay, so 3. But now we have a blocker for most things. It's 3, 2. And they can block the Cutthroat with the Phoenix too. Man. Yeah, I think this game might have slipped away from us. Maybe the counter should have gone on the borrower, honestly. I don't really think about them not attacking. The problem is we don't have enough blockers either. Yeah, I think I just played this game really badly. That's alright. We'll win the next one. Yeah, we played this game like bad on like 9 different places, but it's almost like Magic is hard. Alright, yeah, alright, we screwed this game up. That's okay. That's okay. We'll play better. Nobody said Magic was easy, Alright, so we're on the play now, and the Phoenixes are interesting. Those aren't super common. They're pretty good, but just run it back as is. I'm pretty happy. On the play, we should have a much better initiative, and then just gotta find ourselves our wolf. Go to town with it. Unless they bring in Red Cap Melee, which would be interesting. Very hard for them to interact with the wolf because Lava Coil is a sorcery, obviously. So we're gonna keep this hand. Passage gets green. We have a 2-drop, and then we have opt to find a 3rd land. We have our best card, an Ambusher. We got a Sailor and a Gust to interact early. It's a little sketchy, but we're gonna keep it. Opponent's gonna mulligan. perhaps showing more discipline than us. Definitely the games we draw Breeding Pool are a little smoother than the games we draw Passage, but no 1-drops, not too shabby. So look at our forest. Oh, beautiful. Love to see it. Now you have Cutthroat into Gust Opt, or Gust Sailor, or Sailor Opt. Alright, so no 2-drops, a little sketch. Means probably a likely Bone Crusher Giant. So actually we're just not going to cast the Cutthroat. Maybe we're just going to opt here and look for our next mana source. Can't see them keeping a hand with no 1-drop or 2-drop. Alright, perfect. Now all of our sources are online, and we are ready to rock and roll. We also get to put them in the fix next turn, where you pass with Ambusher and Mystic up, and there's no right play for them. Phoenix of Ash. I think this is fine. Always Gust this later if you want to. We can go Cutthroat and Sailor this turn too, so get the Cutthroat going, which is good. And another Aether Gust. We are cooking now. So ship a turn, and we are cooking with gasoline. Robber of the Rich. We do not care about this. And they're going to attack, which is fine. We are not going to try and ambush here. It's just too risky. Play Ambusher, no red cap melee. They have the Bone Crusher we were scared of earlier. Sure, that's great. So, later on Bone Crusher, good for us. Now the Ambush is in play, and we're untapped, and we are feeling pretty good. Pretty happy to attack here. Ship a turn. And the Wolf Train is left the station. Has left the station. I have a degree in English. Put that up there. They have Lava Coil, and also they have 2 Lava Coils. I'm feeling pretty good here. They have 2. The game gets interesting, but I think we're still ahead. Nope. And that should be the game with a double Aether Gust in our hand. And a Singer? Cool. So we're going to fire in with our Flyer. And I suppose a Wolf. We're going to have multiple blockers and Singer and double Gust. They have 2 cards left. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Robin Hood is Merry Men are up to it again. Alright, well, this has reach. If you asked me if Robber of the Rich had reach, I would have told you yes. But on the current game state, it's the most hidden ability in Magic. Alright, realistically, the Spectral Sailor wasn't doing very much for us anyway, so yeah. Now they can tell their friends they lost someone who didn't know what Robber of the Rich did. It's fine. Not too worried about it. Pump once. And we could just, like, probably Gust Bolt their blockers and kill them. But I'd rather just Gust to stay alive and just keep playing because we're just so far ahead, so I'm just, like, not get cheesed out by anything, you know? Reach. It's Robin Hood, has a bow. Things with bows have reach. You know, it's just how things are sometimes. Alright, move to combat. Send it just to Wolves. Could send everything here, but would just be super conservative, which not risking the Ambusher. Could, like, bounce some stuff and try and kill them. It's fine. We're under no threat of anything here. Don't want to lose some weird combination of cards. We're just making a wolf every single turn. We have tons of interaction. There's no reason to risk anything here. They put the Phoenix on top, too. It's like we don't know what they're drawing. Yeah, that's a Phoenix of Ash. Yeah, that's a pump on the Phoenix of Ash. Yeah, I mean, you're just dead on board, so sure. Bounce the Robber of the Rich. Party on Garth. Alright, sure. Alright, cool. So, a little sloppy in that game too, but we'll take the old scoreboard. And that's the mono red matchup, basically. If you resolve a wolf, you are a heavy favorite to win. And even if not, you still got game. Still got game, you know? Definitely what you'd assume to be would not be a great matchup, but does not play out too bad given the number of cards you have access to and the lowness of our curve. Sort of Johnny Magic, not quite. Not quite. Sure. Okay, well, say hello to the blue Hornet Sting. Hornet Sting is 1 green, instant, deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Which is exactly what we're looking for in this matchup. The blue shock, if you will. Hey, it's funny. They were able to light up a stage because of their trigger, but Brineborn Cutthroat. That is one we do want to get in play. So we're going to play a land here and just say go. And we'll see what they are up to. Most likely just getting the Cutthroat in play. And then you're going to try and get working on that angle. Okay, so Annex is good, but it's bounceable. It's not the end of the world. Play Cutthroat, say go. We're shocking here. Going to cast multiple spells, so... Wouldn't mind waiting till the end step to Brazen Borrower the Annex if possible, so we can try and counter it when it comes on the way down. We do have some spells here for our Cutthroat. Steamkin. Steamkin is pretty good. Definitely a spot here. Like, they've got 3 cards in hand. If we counter for Steamkin, we have a 3-2, and they have a pretty decent attack. And if they have other stuff going on, things get pretty ugly. But if we don't, we get to cast 1/1/1/1 and opt, which is all pretty good. Makes our guy pretty big too. This is tough. This is definitely a tough one. We have the Borrower though to defend us a little bit. I'm gonna counter this. What's the Scry say? Frilled Mystic gonna go on the bottom. We're not there on our double green Tron yet. Ooh, that hurts a little. All right. And they hit... Oh, man. I don't know why whenever I play against Mono Red, they hit Brazen Borrower like 70% of the time, but it's a really good one to hit. It's really sick. Now they can bounce my creature. That's just like so good. Alright. I mean, we're just going to say go here. Even though to counter the bounce either. Ugh, this is gross. Just so gross. Hit Brazen Borrower there. So now if we... God. anything but Brazen Borrower. Literally any card. Now, we bounce Robber. We're super soft to an Embercleave. And they should cast it again next turn anyway. We're like dying too. Oh man. Alright. I guess this is fine. They had a land. Robber the Rich is a very, very high variance magic card. I would love for them to bounce this before blocks. Okay. That's going to resolve. Now the problem here is that they have Embercleave. We really can't do anything. But I think that's kind of just the case anyway, so we're not really in a great spot. I'm pretty sure we're going to cast the Cutthroat and then Brazen Borrower the Annex and say a little prayer. Otherwise we can Borrower... Otherwise we're just taking 7, realistically, which is just not a thing we can do. So if they have Embercleave, we're dead. I think that's fine. I guess we'll assign blocks first. They have a lot of things here. We're in trouble, but... Yep, they have Embercleave. Alright. I mean, that's fine. Again, the hit on the Brazen Borrower was pretty sick. And, the game just didn't play out super well for us. Yeah, we're super dead. I guess we could opt into a Brazen Borrower on their turn. A little too late. A little too late. Hold on, I guess we'll bottom the best possible card in our deck. And yeah, alright. That's a tough game. Happens. You know. Robber the Rich is very high variance. If it hits a land instead of a Brazen Borrower, we probably win that game. Maybe not. Things certainly fell apart from that point, though. So, alright, 4 Gusts, 4 Singers, and taking out the Disputes. And 3 of these, 1 of these, 1 of these. Same as before, same matchup. Hopefully we'll play against not mono red every time. Sure. On the draw, this hand feels a little sketch. It's a little soft to a fast start, but on the play I feel pretty happy here. It's got double green. It's got a few early pieces of action. The Gust is nice. Sure. Hand just got a lot better. We're not going to try and Cutthroat trade here, because we have a 3-2 next turn. So, Scorch Spitter number 2, and no land. Sounds like a death sentence to me. Wow. Unsummon is awesome. Nice little sneaky one-of. Going to make this attack step look pretty bad for them. Will it? I guess it will. Alright. So we're going to fire in for... Fire for the Cutthroat. We gotta have something going on here. They have a shock. Well, they probably should not have allowed that trigger to resolve. So now we just get super blown out. Can't block with it, obviously, but whatever. So no blocks. Yeah. Alright. Close game. The fact that the mono red decks at Worlds were all not playing shock to make themselves better for the metagame there bodes hugely well for us too. A mono red deck with no main deck shocks is much preferable for us than a mono red deck with lots of shocks in it. So again, that's us looking at the World's metagame and trying to beat it with this deck. plays. It's not great, but it plays. Get our Singer. Sing me a song, what a Threnody Singer. Just gonna ship the Opt. Rather just draw a different card than draw an Opt. Opt's a little clunky. Alright, pretty good start. Pretty good start. Brazen Borrower. Hit a Nightpack Ambusher. Alright, that's a card. Take the 1. I'm just gonna go for our Singer block here. The Singer plus Capture is also really good because we can make it a 2, make it possibly a 2-4. So now here we're gonna shrink this Spitter, so that way the Singer won't die to a Bone Crusher Giant or a +2/+0 or a Shock. Worth the extra point, I think, to keep our Singer alive. That was kind of the problem in the game where they had 2 Fervent Champions. We couldn't really do this. Steamkin and no land. No land is very good for us. No land is very good for us. So, Frilled Mystic. We can't capture, but we can Quench. We're just going to tap land here and say go. Robber the Rich is it's being a little annoying, but... Shock targeting me. Okay. They made light up stage also. That is definitely awkward. Now, we could just bounce the Steamkin here. Maybe I'll just Quench the light up stage. I mean, it's going to be a 3/3 Steamkin. I think the tempo is more important. We're going to bounce this Steamkin. Hits Spitter Annex, so no land is the big key here. Which is why we did it, basically. Hit land, we block. Get to untap and find an Ambusher. So that is phenomenal. Now we have Frilled Mystic, we have Capture Quench, or we have Ambusher, which is all phenomenal. We're going to say go. And now these cards are locked into being cast. They draw land here, they can go Steamkin, Spitter. It's not that bad, but it looks like it might be the case. We can go Quench and Capture here. It's pretty good. I could always actually, I just put the Capture out now, so they can't attack with the Robber anymore. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's just game. They don't have a land either, so their life stage did nothing. Passage can go to the bottom. Unsummon's kind of cute. Aether Gust, sure. Just say go here. And now we're in line to get our Ambush online. They have 2 lands in play. They have a Quench. There's a 3rd land. Right on time, right on time. It's a little sketch. I'm not going to lie. That is a little sketch. To draw the 3rd land and do nothing. I'm feeling something about this Nightpack Ambusher being in danger. I'm just going to cast my Brazen Borrower. If we draw a land, we can have Unsummon up to save our Nightpack Ambusher, so I think that is where I would like to be. Okay, well, this works too. So, we'll Unsummon the Borrower here. It fizzles the Bone Crusher Giant, puts the Borrower back in our hand, which is nice. And now we're just back at square one, and we'll just say go again. Now we can Cutthroat, bounce, or we can play Ambusher, or Quench, or whatever else we want, really. Alright. Now we're going to Cutthroat Borrower, I think. They might have another Bone Crusher Giant, but this is fine. Sure. Another Robber's down, and we're ahead on board, so nothing too worrisome here. We're going to hold back on the Singer. Just keep it back to block the Robber. This is fine. I'm kind of feeling a... Wow, nope. A red cap melee here. We're going to go for it, but I got a little tingle I'm not thrilled about. No? Okay. Well, that should be the game then. We'll just say go. I'm not going to attack into a Shock or a Bone Crusher Giant. We'll just say go, take our token. Once the ambusher's in play, you just sit back. And just sit back and don't lose. Red deck is not a burn deck. They have very few burn spells to actually, reach you out. Most of their reach as far as like actually killing you is Torbrand and Embercleave, which are very easy cards to counter. So I could Quench here, just trying to get the Quench. Nah, sure. Cool. So there's 2 mono red wins in a row. For those of you who are scared of the mono red matchup, it really ain't that bad. Really ain't that bad. You would think that would be the scary matchup. The scary matchup is any deck with Witch's Oven in it. That's the real scary one. So, how about that blue-white control deck? Best deck in the format. How about Team of Reclamation, Jeskai Fires? Let's see those Worlds decks, I know I wrote an article a few weeks ago saying you shouldn't play the Worlds decks card for card, but the archetypes are still, still really good. Happy Tim. Remember, folks, my article last Friday on CoolStuffInc.com, that's 3 days ago, was a complete guide to this deck, full sideboard guide and everything. Check it out, CoolStuffInc.com. On the play, it's sketchy. It is sketchy. But we're going to keep it, though. On the draw, you can never keep this hand. But on the play, I'm going to have a little faith here. We draw lands or spells. We should probably be in okay shape. We have Sabotage on the play on 3, so there we go. There's an island. An island with a 1-mana play? Wow. Alright. What do they got going on over there? A mirror? Man. Looks like everyone's trying to beat the world's metagame, not play into the world's metagame. We're going to try and block here. Maybe I should have just, resolved this while they were tapped out, but I think that our hand does not play well from behind, so just trying to keep things at parity is definitely a good place to be. I don't think our hand plays very well in the mirror. We have all of our 4 drops clunky spells, and they're playing Spirals. They might be playing the Nissa version, but they missed on a land, so I am pretty happy sabotaging here and just trying to find a green source. It's half to slow them down, half to speed me up. That's not a green source. Ship it. That's a green source. And we're just gonna ship this. We're gonna cast Ambusher right now. Definitely could have Brazen Borrower in hand. Definitely don't care. Make them Borrower. Not a lot of removal in these in the mirror matchup, but a lot of counter spells. So resolving things more important than exposing things. Sure, no problem. Mana advantage very important in the mirror. I would say we're behind in the mirror against the Growth Spiral Nissa Krasis version of a deck because they are better at mana advantage than we are. But I think that deck might be worse overall. Sure. So I would say this game is effectively over. We have 6 lands, they have 3, and we're making tokens of Nightpack Ambusher. I would say we're in pretty good shape. The moon. Howl at the moon. so just attack. They're going to try to interact on our turn and force us to cast a counterspell and knock out a token, but I think we're so far ahead it doesn't matter. Brazen Borrower again. We counter and they counter back. I guess it's kind of gross. Whereas you could just like recast the Ambusher. I guess they would just counter that, but then they can't quench that then. You need to be exactly Essence Capture. I think this is fine, honestly. But I think we're gonna attack and then just replay it to get the extra pump out of it, because we're going to resolve it through Quench, things like that. Essence Capture, kind of a one of an R deck, not very common in general. Okay. I mean, that's annoying, but... There's a lot of Frilled Mystics. Now, we're just going to stay go. We could offer the trade, but we're just going to stay go here. I would not trade Ambushers given this current board state, so... Just make a token, say go. Once you draw one more land, and then we can double spell, which is good, or just spell too. That's fine. That's not bad at all. So, no attacks. Say go. Make a token. Already cast another Ambusher. So, quenching here seems worse than Frilled Mystic. We're just trying to get ahead on the board. So, yeah. And I have another something here. Their own... No, they're playing... This is a... Usually Brineborn Cutthroat and Growth Spiral don't go very well together, but okay. We're not going to counter this. This is fine. Just take our wolf, please. That was good. We finally drew a spell we can proactively play on their turn, so that was definitely very important. So we'll ship here. They're not cast the Brazen Borrower, which is fine. Now we've made our token, and we're just going to pass again. Sure. So they didn't cast the other Brazen Borrower, they want to leave counter magic up, which is kind of interesting. Flyers are in, that's fine. And then end of second main, we're going to bounce their Nightpack Ambusher. Counter on a thing. See how they react to this. Their hand's probably pretty spell heavy, so this could be a little ugly, but we're going to sabotage my Brazen Borrower. We can Mystic or double Quench. Double Quench does not beat Dispute. It beats most other things, though, whereas Frilled Mystic does not. Double Quench here. Also making our Cutthroat nice and big, too, which is cool, so... Oh my god, I hit the wrong button. I hit resolve all. That's not what I intended to do, obviously. Alright. Man, sloppy video. Alright, that's extremely frustrating. Something like I also meant to quench again. I just hit resolve all, not resolve. Alright. Right on time. That is really, really bad. That screws basically everything up. Alright, now we got... Again, the problem is there's nothing proactive to do on their turn. So they can just keep making tokens. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attackers for their 5 blockers. I might just cast a Frilled Mystic on their turn, however sick that sounds. We just need to get ahead on wolves. And Frilled Mystic's like kind of a wolf. Just a 3-2. Also pumps our Cutthroat up so it can't be blocked by a wolf. This is not cool, but... I mean, that plays 2. Man. So they have 5 disposable blockers. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 attackers. So block here, here, there, and 3 get through. Because now we have Sailor. They have Sailor too. I kind of want to just mush. I'll leave back the Ambusher. I'm not sure if this is right or not. I mean, I imagine they're going to cast something with this, the way this block is lined up. Sure. Sure. So, I would say we won this combat. Hit a 5. Board's cleaned up. Haven't cast a spell. Get another wolf. We have multiple lethal attackers, so we can stop on their end step in response to a trigger. They only have 2 legal blockers. Yes, they are playing Nissa Who Shakes the World, and that should be the game. So we have Dispute and Quench, so despite this slight mishaps, cool. Definitely not the matchup I expected to play, but And they have Nissa, who shakes the world in their deck, and Hydroid Krasis, which I think favors them as far as the matchup goes. But so let's bring in Dispute, Stroke. We need some of our Gusts and the Ceratops. What are we not interested in? Frilled Mystic's actually not that good in this matchup because it's so bad against Mystical Dispute. I'd say our Unsummon's not great. I'm not cool with the Quenches either. It's going to be a longer, kind of drawn-out, draw-go style game. Aether Gust, while it can only hit a few things, it hits the most important thing, which is Ambusher. I might actually want all 4 of them. And then the Adversary is kind of interesting, as it does answer their Ceratops if they have them. Sailor, Cutthroat, both very good. Essence Captures, fine. Honestly, it might just be all the Frilled Mystics. It's just so bad against Mystical Dispute. And the body is like only medium relevant. I gotta cut one more card. You only need 3 Gusts, I think. It looks silly to have Gust, like the way our deck is laid out, because we only have 6 actual green cards, but Ambush is the most important card. Ceratops is also very important, but they're also playing Nissa and possibly other green cards, so the ability to bounce an Ambusher back the turn they end step it is really, really big. Same place. Making land drop seems very important, so we're happy to do that. Spectral Sailor seems really good in this matchup. Gonna hold this opt for the moment. Or maybe considering a main phase growth spiral, which would be a little weird, but sure. Again, no 3rd land. I mean, this is a pretty big price to play in growth spiral in your deck. You gotta play a lot of lands. A lot of lands. If you don't put a land in growth spiral, it's pretty freaking bad. We're gonna opt here. We're gonna lance. That's a good one. We're gonna protect that a little more carefully though, so we're gonna untap here. Temple of Mystery. That one. So we definitely would like to have Sabotage up, but they're probably not gonna do anything important next turn. I highly doubt they just like jam a Nightpack Ambusher. They could though. We get Borrower though. We're gonna Temple here. Aether Gust. I think I'm cool with that. Okay, so they're going to try and take a Brazen Borrower, which I think is fine. Sailor can block that if things get dicey, but not too worried about it at the moment. And I think we're going to play our Sailor now. If they counter it, we can probably play our Ambusher. So not sure about this one, honestly. Okay, we should play their own Ambusher. That's fine. So we have Gust and Borrower, so I think I'm pretty happy just playing the Borrower here. Now we have our Borrower to deal with their Borrower, and I have the Sailor's already in play, nice and safe, which is good. Gust should protect against most scary things here, being Ambusher and Nissa. If they have a Dispute also, they don't seem to have that, so that's fine. I think we play on. Attacking is a little scary, because if they play a Borrower to block, I guess that's fine. So we're going to Ambusher here with 1 blue up. So if we play Sabotage and they have a Dispute, things get a little ugly. I think we're fine just gusting this. And then next turn we'll have Sabotage up to play through Dispute. Again, this is why the Gusts are so important. Well, I guess if they had the Dispute, they could like dispute it to tap us out and then resolve it again. That's pretty risky. It's a very complicated matchup. A lot of posturing. Now we can't really play Borrower here, except we do they get to resolve the Ambusher, so we should get to untap, I suppose. We have our own Ambusher. Alright. You can see how important the Aether Gust are. Because literally the entire game is revolving around these ambushers. Yeah, we'll keep that one. They're low enough on mana where I'm happy keeping this. Big question is, do we play the Borrower end step or not? I don't think. I mean, we're just soft to an Ambusher right now anyway. They were just a slam a second Ambusher. We're actually soft to everything, but they don't know that, which is like the big crux of the matchup is that they don't know your hand, so they don't know we're soft. And casting a spell into 3 open mana is pretty scary. So we're at 8 though. I'm gonna jam. If they have another Ambusher, we'll just resolve our Ambusher and just get into that stupid fight. Ooh. Ouchie wowie. Alright. Spectral Sailor is now on blocking duty. We get to resolve our Ambusher, which is cool, but Spectral Sailor, I don't think we're going to be the card draw engine we've always wanted. We can't just die. Alright, I mean, I think Ambusher beats Nissa straight up. If they have a Krasis also, then I mean, we're playing Standard in 2020. I guess we just gotta deal with it, right?
The land fights for us.
Alright, we're blocking. Don't love it, but we're doing it. So, just literally if they have Krasis, we lose, and if they don't, we are probably okay. Another Borrower's bad. There's a lot of things that are bad here for us here. Obviously, your opponent is Nissa and play. If they get to untap, usually you lose, but we'll do our best. Way late to the party on the Mystical Dispute. I mean, maybe able to resolve another Ambusher here, but then I guess we're gonna like go to our end step and make a token, then play Ambusher. So once they untap, our disputes go pretty dead. We have no good attacks here, unfortunately. Another Brazen Borrower. God, that's good. Alright, so we'll dispute that. We'll just play another Ambusher and just pray no Krasis. Might as well resolve this while we're tapped out. And I mean, you know, it's just Krasis or bust. Please don't have a Krasis. I'm begging you. That's a good sign. No floats, it's a good sign. What is this? What is going on here? What do you have up your sleeve, Happy Tim? Just saying go. Upkeep. Aether Gust, my Nightpack Ambusher. That's going to resolve. Yes, I would love to put that on top. So it's upkeep, not draw step. So they're allowing me to draw the Ambusher. Which is a little weird, but then we'll just say go. No attacks. I mean, we'll do it on their turn now. They have plenty of mana up, so I might do it on their upkeep. So we'll untap and then upkeep, cast our Ambusher. Unless you want to wait, but they draw a fresh card. They have a million mana anyway. We'll just do it. Think of a counter here. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, damn it. Alright. Feels bad. Might want that fourth Aether Gust. As silly as it sounds. At turn 3, Brazen Borrower swung this entire game. She did so much damage. Oh no. Normally you're happy drawing a lot of disputes, but now they have a Nissa in play, and you're already losing. I think we're just dead this game, folks. They can ultimate their Nissa if they want to. Nope.
Rise, my elemental friend.
That wasn't bad. You know, as far as things go. I mean, we can send the Wolves of Anissa and just block with the Frilled Mystics. It's not particularly great, but what else are we doing? This is dumb. If they're smart, they just shouldn't block at all. Just cry back and kill us. Okay. So they're playing around an Ambusher, but only a little bit. Which is interesting, but sure. Alright, so they have a bunch of indestructible 3/3s. Luckily we have some large blockers, I guess. And now the Spectral Sailor can poke the Nissa, which is kind of cute. Shouldn't have that many forests in your deck, right? Usually it's like 5 actual forests and a couple breeding pools. So... 7 forests. 7 forests in your Sinister Sabotage deck? I mean, this is obviously not ideal, but we're pretty close to the Cutthroat being able to block stuff too. And then if we can poke this Nissa, it's pretty good as well. So, like, we're actually going to cast the Sailor right now, because I can try and play some spells to get the Cutthroat big enough so I can defend with the disputes. Let's see what they do. Sailor's good. So the block's here. I don't really want to go to 2. I think we're just going to eat a wolf here. I mean, now we start drawing cards and poke the Nissa. Like, obviously they have good cards in their hand, we're screwed, but now it's pretty good, so alright. They're casting a Growth Spiral. That resolves. Alright, so we just need to, like, not die. Which is perhaps more difficult than it sounds, given that they have indestructible 3/3s every turn. We just really need to cast a spell on their turn. I think we're drawing a card. Like, we can't really afford to try and counter something, because we just need to get this thing bigger. Just try and draw a proactive card, like a Sailor or an Opt or a Cutthroat or something. It feels awful, but God damn it. I guess we're going to 2. This is a very silly game. 3, 4. I guess. I mean, if we draw into another Ambusher, we can play that. So if we pass it, I mean, Temple, we can look for a spell to cast on there. I guess Temple gives us 2 shots at it. Problem is, like, a lot of our spells aren't even good. We're not going to Brazen Borrower or Aether Gust to Frilled Mystic. Yeah, I think it's Passage. Very silly game state we're in. I think we just say go. There's no cards we played sorcery speed. Oh, but Ceratops, I guess. That's worse than, yeah, that's not even good. Top, bottom is scary. So we're going to upkeep, we're going to draw a card. Alright. Pass the draw. Pass the main. Pass the attackers. I don't know why this Frilled Mystic refuses to get it. I guess we could block it with the 4/4, but it makes our block so much worse. Alright. And now we need to decide if we want to dump the Sailor or try and... Maybe we gotta try and keep the Cutthroat alive, honestly. Wait, what? What the hell is going on? A little lag there. Yeah, alright. Leave a counterspell up for the thing. I guess the problem is now we play Ceratops and then we don't get a token either. God damn it. This is the silliest game I've played in a long time. God, just go away. Oh, man. We didn't want that, did we? No. Spectral Sailor. Oh, we can't beat that card either. Oh, man. I'm reaching for the concede button. Alright. I mean, we couldn't beat the Nissa Ultimate. We tried. And honestly, we really weren't that far off. But, a little awkward. A little awkward. Do you want the fourth copy of Aether Gust? We might, honestly. The green cards are just the most important cards by so much. I don't think we do that. We're on the play. Strokes are nice too. Yeah, it's fine. Stroke also answers all the important green cards for 2 mana, which is important. It's like clutch. Not necessarily expected you could be able to do that, so... No Crisis so far. I think Nissa, like, dictates you build your deck in a certain way. And, they don't seem to have their deck built that way. Obviously, it's good Sailor, but they're playing the Cutthroat also, so usually they go bigger and play more lands, Growth Spiral, Nissa, and Crisis. We can keep this. think we're just gonna slam Sailor on 1, actually. Just play around Mystical Dispute, play around everything. Just get it in play. Make him deal with it. Okay. If they had their own Sailor, they'd probably do the same, so we're safe there. I doubt they have a 1 or 2 play that matters, so let's play this Temple of Mystery. Okay. Why not just main phase it, not give you the option to counter it? Like, we gave you the play, we told you what to do, you know? Keeping this seems redundant because we're going to cast Opt anyway, so... Sailor's probably better in their deck than it is in our deck because they have more mana, they have Growth Spiral, and they have Nissa, but... It's still good for us, too. Yes. Okay. It's a lot of breeding pools. Kind of doubt we're casting Borrower. We might, though. I'm not really sure what we're going to do. It's going to be pretty reactive, obviously. Scrying top. I think we just cast Borrower and attempt to block and make them deal with it. And I'm happy if they counter it, so I'll just slam Ambusher. I think. So now with our Sailor and play with the initiative. They go. Now we can draw or Ambusher. Obviously, if we draw, they can resolve their Ambusher, in which case we untap, resolve our Ambusher, and we're up a card. So... That's boom boom. Nothing? Alright. Pretty interesting. This game is definitely playing out in a pretty odd way. Keep that. Alright. If they ambush her, we just ambush her also. They're going to hard cast Brazen Borrower. Okay. It's going to resolve my Ambusher. They can resolve Nissa, but then I have Ceratops as a haster also, I guess. Alright. I mean, Nissa is good, but Nissa can't currently block my my 4/4.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
This is they have Aether Gust also. This is a blowout. Okay. We can't Ceratops and leave up Sabotage, even though Ceratops hasting on the Nissa is pretty good. I think I'd rather just get the token and have Sabotage up. I mean, if they have Krasis next turn, I mean, just a stupid Nissa Krasis combo where you just, if you can't kill Nissa that turn and they have Krasis, you lose, alright? You know, like. And we slam Ceratops, they can just chump block with the land, I guess. Maybe we just bomb. If they have Aether Gust, it's like really bad for us anyway. And if they had the Aether Gust, they probably would have used. I guess they didn't have a chance to use it. Man, interesting games. Very, very complicated mirror matchup. Alright, we're just gonna go for it. So if they have Gust, they get to Gust my Ambusher anyway, and I'm probably pretty screwed. And if I have to counter it, then I can't get a token regardless, so I'll just do it. God. And I don't think we can trade the Sailor for the Borrower, because we might need to draw cards, I guess.
Enough.
If we had a spell, I obviously used it. I'm just going to tap this. I may end up racing. Oh, man.
Behold nature's true power.
I mean, now we have Sabotage to back up our Ambusher, I guess, but... Alright. Take two. Say go. Double Aether Gust, just the most brutal thing ever. We were saying that it was bad if they had one. Two is just unconscionable. It's probably not a word. Alright, so in their upkeep, we're going to cast Nightpack Ambusher. It's kind of cool. What is this? Frilled Mystic voting a green. Alright. Show me potato salad. Alright. Could have been worse. The problem is just like Nissa making like a bunch of 3/3s just like so gross.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Like we're also at 11. The problem is the Ceratops is like the one card in the whole deck that doesn't synergize well with the Ambusher. It's gonna make tokens, obviously. We just can't attack Nissa anymore either. Oh man, I'm not gonna block. I'm gonna try and draw two cards off a Sailor and see what we can do. Ceratops isn't even good. I could say there might even be an argument for not even having Ceratops in your deck post board against them. I'll try and draw a land here. No, we did not. I think they drew a third Aether Gust. Thassa's Intervention? But not for the... They're playing on Quench, I guess. I guess. Just basically just draw two cards. Alright. Not quite Hydroid Crisis, but...
Shall conquer you.
We're just dead. Yeah, we're just dead. Alright. What are we gonna do? I shocked with the card draw. I mean, I didn't need to, but we're just so far behind anyway. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely a huge dog in the mirror if they have Nissa and the bigger cards, unfortunately. Growth Spiral's good too, so, I mean, I'm sure he could have played better too. It's definitely a really, really complicated matchup. Tried, you know, but Growth Spiral, the mirror is all about mana advantage and having a thing that sticks and generates advantage, and they just have more Nightpack Ambushers than us because they have Nissa, and they have Growth Spiral to get ahead on lands, and they have Crisis which can't be countered. Obviously they didn't play it, but I would assume they do. Alright, we can keep it. Sounds good. Show me a Hallowed Fountain, please. Can we do that? Alright, we're going to not play Sailor on one, so I'm going to use it to pump the Cutthroat. I'm going to ship the Mystic. It's a little clunky. You gotta have a counterspell. I don't have a fourth land yet. Forest Pelt Collector. Okay. Alright, One of the problems of metagaming is you don't always play against the decks that are good, that you expect to play against. You're experiencing that a little bit today. Robber of the Rich? That's awkward. Alright. Alright. I mean, play Cutthroat and not get robbed. And no blocks. Our Cutthroat's going to get pretty big, I think, so I'll just say go. If they want to empty their hand, they got to cast a spell. We can counter it. No, they're going right to his Ackers? Okay. This is fine. Do they have a Bone Crusher Giant? Or do they have a Zutta Goblin? All the cards to counter, I don't really want to counter this one. It will pump their Pel Collector, though. The next turn we opt, look for another counterspell and a draw step. Yeah, I guess we're countering this. Feels pretty bad, but just makes their board significantly better, puts us even farther behind. Ambusher is exactly what we're looking for. Alright, just don't want to lose this Ambusher to anything. Ambusher must survive. Annex Hardened in the Forge. Oh, no fire spells here. Alright, we have succeeded in our first task. Now our second task is don't die to Embercleave. That's our next task. Brutal Spellbreaker. So I'll opt. I mean, we could just play Sailor and draw a card here too. I don't know if a Spellbreaker actually really matters, honestly. And if we opt, we can't draw off Sailor, so maybe this is fine. They don't really have any good attacks, so I guess that's a 4/4 now too. But okay. So yeah, like I mean, we can just cast multiple spells and just eat this. So I guess now we're gonna opt. We Sailor draw, it's not good enough to make the Cutthroat live, so let's opt. Ship that. Dispute? Sure. I might have disputed that if we drew that. It's a little awkward. I might have made a mistake there. I should have just cast the opt. But I think we're okay shape. Dispute plays pretty well here, honestly. It actually just defends us against Embercleave, which is what we're looking to defend against anyway, so the Flyers will get in. We're not ready to attack with the 7/6 yet. It really defends us pretty well. Just get to poke, say go, the counterspell up, make a wolf every turn. This thing is a monster on defense. Definitely a good Aether Gust matchup, if I do say so myself. Damn. That's aggressive. Looks like an Embercleave. Thankfully we have the counterspell, so let's just eat stuff. Not going to risk the Ambusher on anything, basically. And here. I guess actually this goes here. This goes here. This goes here. And they play Embercleave, we counter it, and the game ends. Cool. So, definitely not a great looking matchup for us, but Nightpack Ambusher is pretty damn good. Definitely not the easiest, not to make excuses for myself, but it's definitely not the easiest deck to play while commentating. This is a very, very finesse-heavy deck where you can make a lot of different plays based on, like, what you think your opponent has, what they think you have, like leveling and bluffing and all sorts of stuff. It's a little hard to do. It's a little more nuanced than you can handle when trying to talk through all your thoughts. But Alright, so we're going to bring in 4 Aether Gusts and a couple Oakhame Adversaries. And probably want a couple Singers, too. I would say that the disputes are gone. Sabotages are gone for the most part. Quench is also a little sketchy. Especially on the draw, Quench just gets dead pretty quickly. They don't have the 1-drops that Mono Red has, most likely, so the Sailors aren't as exciting either. Frilled Mystic is a decent body. It's not great. Let's see here. Maybe, like, the Singers don't block as well against red-green because they actually have like larger creatures too. So I don't really know exactly what I want here, honestly. I'm gonna shave a Sailor. Like if they have like questing beast stuff, I might want some strokes. Probably not. Maybe I don't know about Singer. I don't know about Sabotage. Sabotage might be better than Frilled Mystic. Frilled Mystic can block. I'm not really sure. Honestly, it's hard to know the exact composition of their deck. That's a bad one. Okay, we'll mulligan that one. Oh, it sounds insane. We're going to keep this, and we're going to ship... Oh, man, we have no untapped land, though. I'm going to ship the Opt. Opt's going to be looking for land anyway, so... Ooh, no 1-drop is nice. Temple of Mystery, help me out. Yes, thank you. Love it. I actually have not gotten to cast one of these yet, and I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm not going to lie. So, we're going to play our first Oakhame Adversary. Okay, 2/3, Death Touch, Ophidian. Whenever it does damage to a player, draw a card. Not too shabby with the Singer as well. They think they trading, and they ain't trading. So no blocks here. Just take 3. This is fine. Robber of the Rich post-combat. God, it feels good. Alright, and we drew another good land. So we're going to play tap land here. We're going to say go. We're going to leave Borrower and Singer up. Alright, so they could Embercleave us here. It's kind of gross. Man, they have Embercleave. It sucks. But if we... I guess if we Brazen Borrower the Goblin, it turns off Embercleave and turns off the Robber. I'll say Embercleave in response, which we can, like, deal with later. Yeah, alright. Let's bounce this. Like, maybe we should have done this pre-combat. We didn't know they were going to attack with the Robber, though. Did Embercleave just force it? No. Alright, so no Embercleave. I mean, now we're blocking. Could have the +2/+0. Have Colossus. This is great, though. This is a great trade for us. We can just get the 2-for-1. Take that all day. They play the Goblin again. We get to play Adversary with a Singer up, which is cool. Worth their weight in gold here. -1, -0. Give the Colossus here? Sure. I mean, pretty sure we take these trades all day. Just 2-for-1 twice. And a Pel Collector after combat. And they are almost out of things to do. If we opt, I wanted the ability to 4-drop, so we just main phase opt, right? See what turns up. Sure. Sure. So that means we're cool with playing a tap land. And we're cool just saying go. So I'm going to block the 1/1. Nah. Not today, my friend. Not today. Alright, we're going to keep the opt. A scry to the bottom is the top card. A scry up top is the top 2 cards, so... And we'll just say go. Hope for no second questing beast, I guess. Opt. Sure. Works for me. Good spell at the top, please. As requested. As requested. I think leaving the Singer back is correct. Lava Coil. I missed the top or bottom on this Temple of Benin. If I Aether Gust this, we end up with a 4/3. This still just dies later. I think this is fine. It's not permanent enough to stop it, so... Sure. Alright. 4, 8, 12, 16, so not worth the added clock yet. 3, 6, 9, 12. Alright, well, we need a little help next turn. That's a good one. That's a good one too. I guess this is fine. Now if the Pug Collector attacks me, the Ambusher can eat it, so... Not sure about that attack, but sure. So, we just need them to not draw Embercleave and us draw Brick. We didn't draw Brick. They're dead. Right? 7, yeah. Alright, so I mean, feels like a pretty bad matchup. We won it, so that feels nice. Nice that the old Oakhame Adversaries came in handy like that. Love to see that for sure. And we only got one match left, and I'm kind of hoping it's against blue-white, you know, or just one of the main decks from the World Championship. Cause that's kind of the point of this video. But I can't control my opponent's play, I guess. So let's see. One blue-white control deck, one Jeskai Fires deck, or one Teamer Wreck deck. Talking about 11 of the 16 decks at the World Championship. With the other remaining 4 being mono-red. We've already played against that twice, and beaten it twice. So, Lysander, what do you got for me? Turn 1, Temple of Enlightenment. They're obviously going to be playing blue-white, and they're obviously going to crush us. But... well, they're certainly pondering like a blue-white player. Remember, folks, like I said, there's a companion article to this video on CoolStuffInc.com. And I should say that yet, but and make sure to check that out. And of course, my article last Friday was all about this deck, full sideboard guide, and full information on it. Again, I think this deck is very, very good against the World's metagame. That continues to be some of the top decks in the format. So, all right, Temple of Mystery, go. We're going to play Island and go here. I may not actually opt. I may prefer to save them for Brineborn Cutthroat. Let's see what they're playing here. Bant something. Okay, so now I'm scared of a Teferi on turn 3, so we're going to opt. Okay. Well, there's the Temple of Enlightenment I asked for. Alright, we're going to bottom this, because I think that we need to find a Quench. I don't think the extra Sabotage is worth the trouble. Please don't play Teferi. Teferi on the play can be annoying.
I know my responsibility. Don't worry, I got you.
Okay, so our opponent is playing something interesting. Alright, I mean, obviously Teferi is probably the best card in the entire format against us, if it sticks. Which, I'm going to play, it's certainly possible they can stick it. They have like a Nissa here or something, things could get pretty gross. But, no. Can't conquer death on the old Cutthroat.
Here we go.
Interesting. Well, let's get dirty, I guess. They have their own. We're gonna shatter the sky at instant speed. And I think we're just gonna cast the Nightpack Ambusher, honestly. Like, they have another Shatter the Sky, it's pretty bad. But I guess they have Conqueror's Death, it's bad for us too, but all of our threats are bad against Conqueror's Death, so. A Gilded Goose. Okay. Opponent's playing a Brew. Just your casual Gilded Goose Shatter the Sky deck. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Alright. I mean, could just... Maybe we're gonna bounce it to Teferi, honestly. Could just, like, say go and make a token, but... Intervention, counter unless I pay 4. Alright. I guess he has the opt. I mean, don't wrath me again. That's a graveyard right there. That's definitely a graveyard. So they have another Teferi, which is bad.
Trust me, you'll thank me later. Oh, I've done the hero thing before. Do you want me to phase you out of time?
Not really. I mean, it could just be Frilled Mystic. But I guess that's not lethal on the Teferi. Alright, sure. It's probably getting countered. Very weird looking deck so far. Just a lot of Thassa's interventions. They must have Nissa in their deck.
Trust me, I have a plan.
They keep shocking. I mean, they have... Okay. Top, bottom, okay.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Okay. Are they playing Nexus of Fate?
You show remorse, I'll show. I'll protect
Okay.
you.
This is interesting. I feel like they're not... That they're doing stuff, but they're not, like... I don't know where they're going. Don't need that. Cutthroat. I don't think we need to play a third creature here. Just get blown out by Wrath. We'll just say go, draw a card off Sailor. I should have drawn the card now, because we can't play spells anyway. I mean, now the Thassa's interventions make more sense. Right, they can crank it for like 5, I guess. Sure. I mean, but what are they actually winning the game with? If we see an upkeep scry here, it feels pretty good for us. No. Okay. I suppose that card is good. So this is just like Team Reclamation, but they're playing white for Teferi instead of red for Expansion Explosion. But Expansion Explosion is the card you want to go along with your Reclamation. So without like Nexus of Fate or something, what's their payoff for playing Reclamation?
This might be a bad idea.
I guess I got punished for not playing the Cutthroat. Alright.
Hey, that was uncalled for.
Was it, though? And they're going to play Fae of Wishes and get Finale of Glory. So it seems like if this deck doesn't have Teferi in play, it's like kind of not doing much. But they've done a really good job of keeping Teferi in play. Alright, so we're just dead. They're just Finale for 1,000,000 and kill us. Interesting deck, I guess. I mean, I would say adding Teferi to the Team Reclamation deck definitely improves their matchup against us for sure. Definitely weird to see Gilded Goose in a Shadow for Sky deck. But pretty interesting. Some interesting things going on here. Definitely picks up some of the slack that Teamer feels. Alright, bring in Dispute. I don't think we want Gusts. I guess we want Ceratops. I'm not really sure what they're doing. I'm going to shave a Frilled Mystic or two. I'm going to shave some Quenches. We're on the play, so we don't need Quench is bad. Unsummon can go. I guess we, like, don't want Gust. I don't think. And Stroke's awkward because it can't stop Teferi. I guess we just... Man, what a weird deck. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. Let's leave in, I guess, a Quench and a Mystic. I'm really not sure. Really not sure. I guess we keep. I feel like we're just going to keep and lose. We need to draw, like, running lands. But, I mean, you have, like, pseudo 1-drop. I think it's Hapland. The Quench is fine. We can't cast Sabotage yet. I feel like if it's Forest as a breeding pool, I'm, like, definitely keeping. But I don't really want to go to 6. I want to keep. Might be a loose one here. Okay. I mean, that could definitely be worse. I doubt we're quenching on 2 here, so we have to opt for a land. Okay, we're probably not playing Spectral Sailor. That's fine. That's not fine. That's not fine. Alright. We like, I guess he probably should have mulliganed. Euro. Okay. Right on time, right on time. Oh, come on. Need to draw more lands than Spectral Sailors, you know? One of the problems too with like the growth spiral effects is that when you miss a land drop and your opponent has a growth spiral effect, it feels like you're running a race with one leg. They just have 6 mana, we have 3. I probably should end step a Sailor. Yeah, I definitely should end step a Sailor. So now I'm probably discarding a Sailor, which obviously is just stupid. So... And the problem, of course, obviously, is when I miss these, we miss these land drops, and now our Quench goes dead really fast. So, pretty unfortunate game. I mean, we probably should have just mulliganed, so I guess it's not really unfortunate. I'm just an idiot, but just too perplexed by what's going on over there. So dumb. We're discarding a Sailor. Blast Zone? Oh my god. Alright, I think we're dead, folks. They've got 7 lands, we've got 3. No? Wow, okay. They're probably gonna play Teferi, honestly. Yeah. Alright, I don't know what to do, folks. I don't know what to tell you on this one.
That's more like it.
None of our cards work, so pretty stinky match here. I just kept a really bad hand this game, and then game 1 just kind of stunk. They were able to just get all the Teferis in. Kind of a weird deck. I don't know if everybody like deck's good or not. It looks very odd. It's like really hard to parse if it's actually good. But like with that expansion explosion to actually kill your opponent, like I don't know. But alright, I mean we're just super dead this game. We ain't come back in that one. So yeah, I mean definitely we didn't unfortunately play against Fires, Blue Eye Control, or Teamer Wreck. Which is kind of was the point of what I was trying to go for here. But this deck is very good against the world's metagame, but I think that is still true. The deck is definitely very hard to play. It's definitely a big-time finesse deck. Takes a good amount of practice. Again, like I said, it's kind of hard to play dictating your plays and talking a lot because it really requires a lot of like nuance of like picking up what your opponent's doing, kind of trying to read their hand, plotting things out really well because your cards, you know, aren't as strong as the other cards in the format. There's no Dream Trawler in this deck. Ambusher's busted, but you know we're playing Quench and Unsummon and Essence Capture. But if you're willing to put in the work, this deck's definitely very rewarding. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, it just seems great against Fires, great against Blue White, as you saw. It does fine against Mono Red. The random decks in the field scare me. I played DreamHack, a tournament last weekend, a big esports tournament. I was considering playing this deck, and I decided to just play Blue Eye Control because I played this deck twice now in tournaments, and I just lost to kind of a weird smattering of random decks where I felt if I had played against the more top decks in the format, I would have done better, but that's not how tournaments work all the time, you know? So there's an implied risk here for sure, where if your opponent goes turn 1 Blood Crypt, Cauldron Familiar, you are like maybe 10% to win. And while that's not necessarily as likely as turn 1 Temple of Enlightenment or, you know, turn 1 Temple of Mystery. That's obviously a possibility that can come. So it carries a little risk, but you can also play well in those matchups and still kind of steal some wins anyway. And then you give yourself a huge edge against the better players in the room playing the better decks. So deck's super fun. Definitely give it a spin if you're looking for something like this. And it's pretty cheap too, honestly. Because the Brazen Borrowers are a little pricey, but for the most part, fairly inexpensive deck as well. So thanks for watching once again. There's a companion article to this video on CoolStuffInc.com. Check that out, of course, every Monday I do a video article. Every Friday I do a written article. And again, last Friday's article, all about this deck, full sideboard guide, all the notes, everything you could ever want. All right? CoolStuffInc.com. Do some shopping. Go buy your Brazen Borrowers. Promo code Jim5 on the site. And I'll see you fine folks, I guess, on Friday for my next article. So, love you all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm Jim Davis for CoolStuffInc.com.